Hey mamas, Tiffany Chanell here. I am doing all the things I typically do on a Sunday evening. I just finished all the laundry. I usually try to get that started on, y'all have to excuse me. I do stuff around my house and I don't be trying to look cute. But anyway, I try to finish up laundry, if not on the Saturday, on Sunday, get my groceries ordered by Saturday, and then meal prep on Sunday. So what I'm doing now is I am but putting my pillows back on my couch. The house is very much lived in, and my daughter and I like to sit on the couch, and she tries to put the pillows back as best as she can, but I do sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes have to go behind her and fix things. But anyway, let me put this here so that while I am talking to you, I can still do the things I need to do around my house. So I am playing jazz music in the background, so let me turn it down so that there's no copyright, just in case. But I'd like to do that. I like to play a bit of jazz music, some relaxing music in the evenings. Some people enjoy worship. I enjoy that too. But jazz music has also been, you know what, I'm gonna do this. Where are we at? Yeah, okay, sorry, that's gonna flip. And I'm probably gonna flip it around again. Jazz music has been on my playlist. I enjoy it. Okay, back in the kitchen I go. Try not to mess things up on this. Oh Lord, sorry, I'm flipping you guys around on my phone, trying to, oh Lord, y'all have to forgive me. We trying to do too many things at once. But let me tie my hair up while I am about to continue chopping up my vegetables. I am making a white bean soup, stew, whatever. It's gonna have garlic, shallots, onions, bell peppers. I'll put some bay leaves in there for flavor. And then of course take it out when it's time. It's going to have, okay, now let me wash my hands. It's gonna have, okay, that didn't work the way I wanted it to. It's gonna stay. Ooh, okay. Let's see. Let's try to do it like, oh, come on. Oh, that's not the way I wanted to do this. And I was not even preparing to come on here and talk, but, oh God, come on, act right for once. But I thought, well, why not? Some people are getting their house in order and they come on and talk and all that. My daughter is in bed asleep. She had dinner time, some more playtime, bath time and bedtime. We were practicing multiplication, making sure that she is ready for her exam this week, where they're going to be timed on their multiplication tables. So of course each day I mix up the numbers and time her and have her practice, and she's been doing really well. So now let's put you back up here as I chop my veggies. Oh, maybe I can show you what I have. Why don't I do that so you can see? I can't flip it, so I'll have to show you this way. Ignore this bag. This is when I peel stuff, I put it in here, but There's my garlic, onions, and shallots. I use yellow onions. I have my different bell peppers, carrots. I'm gonna have to wash those and chop those up. Of course, my bay leaves. I bought the celery pre-chopped. I usually chop it up myself, but I wasn't feeling it this time. I was like, I don't feel like chopping up everything, so I chopped up most things. So there's that. Is that the way to do it? Yeah, okay. So, you might be thinking, well, Tiffany, why are you on here just chit-chatting? Well, your girl has been in deep thought, and for people that know me, that I talk to on a regular basis, I haven't really said much to this week. I've just been in deep thought. I don't know if any of you moms can relate, but excuse the lighting, just in the house, right? I don't know if you moms can relate. I'm pretty sure the single moms can, and maybe some of the married moms can, I don't know. But been in thought about just my life. You know, how did I get here? At the ripe old age of over 40. I am over 40. I celebrated my 42nd birthday this year. Yay to the Scorpios. And just been in deep thought about how did I get here? I mean, I know how I got here. My parents had a love fest on Valentine's evening. Because I'm a November baby. No, but all jokes aside, I love to joke and laugh. How did I get here? Not necessarily how was I born here, but more like, how did I get to where I am? You know, I always thought I would be a wife with maybe 2 or 3 kids, 2 girls, a boy. Just be living a little bit differently than I am. Granted, I'm grateful for what I have. Don't misunderstand me, but sometimes as you get older, you start to wonder, you know, could things have been differently? Or could things have been different? And so I, you know, each year for my birthday, I sometimes have these moments and these thoughts. This year, I just thought I would share it with you all. You know, I am divorced. I'm a single mother. I'm actually twice divorced. Most people don't like to share that type of stuff, but whatever. It is what it is. No judgment zone on this channel, at least. Not from me. I got married pretty young. Not too long after graduating college and working for a couple of years, making some decent money, and got married. And I know for a fact that I should not have gotten married to the person I married. At the time, I didn't know any better. I was young, and all I knew was marriage, because that's all I saw. My parents, my grandparents, that's all I knew. I never knew of, you know, oh, this person could cheat, or this person could do this, that, and the third. I never thought about those things because I never experienced those things growing up. All I experienced was a husband and wife who loved each other, who stayed together. And I guess I assumed that since I dated this person in high school that, you know, we would just do what my parents did, stay together, get married. And we did, but we were young and we were not ready for marriage. So fast forward a few years and I'm a little bit older, and I'm like, you know, I'm getting older. I need to be married and have kids, and, you know, shout out to the people that are not moved by those type of pressures. Shout out to you. I definitely felt the pressure of starting a family as I got older. And so I got married very quickly. I didn't take time to vet the person. And I'm sure they didn't take time to vet me. And, you know, so then got married, had a house built, had a baby, then got divorced. Not my idea of the life I had expected for myself. You know what? I wonder, can y'all hear me really well over me slicing up stuff? Give me a minute. Okay, sorry about that. It took me a while because while I was going to get my earpiece, I noticed, well, baby girl woke up and said her back hurt. So I wanted to pray with her so that she could feel good and go back to sleep. So I now have my earpiece, so hopefully while I'm washing and chopping, you can hear me better over any background noise. But I was saying earlier that the life I ended up having was not really the life I had expected to have. And I will say, there are things about my life that I absolutely love. I love my family. I have a wonderful, supportive, immediate family. I'm super blessed to have my daughter. I have my life, my health, my strength. I'm grateful for that. I have an amazing career. I do well for myself in my career. I am almost certified in my career, which is exciting. I have one more project to complete and I will receive my certification. And I do well for myself. I mean, there are challenges sometimes with having a demanding career and having to set boundaries at work as well as boundaries at home so that I can get work done, and then set boundaries at work so that I can be a good and effective mother to my daughter. So thankfully, I work with people that seem to be very understanding, and they trust me to do a good job, and then I do a good job, and I'm able to be there for my daughter. Baby girl, you sleep? Hey, she looks like she's asleep, so anyway, so with that in mind, you know, I didn't just end up in a pickle. I did come out of the divorce still with, you know, my own career and successes, and able to still do what I need to do as an adult, as a parent for my kid. So I'm grateful for all of that. I will say that I definitely didn't expect to be where I am now. I do not want to say anything negative about the other parent because that is still my daughter's biological dad. And so what I can say to moms, or, you know, newly single moms, that different seasons do change, and there might be a season where you are getting the financial support, they call it child support, right? The financial support as well as the physical support of your kid's other parent, picking the child up, spending time with your children or your child. And then there's going to be seasons, which I don't want to say there's going to be, but there might be seasons where you're not seeing that. And so I just don't want you to get discouraged during the seasons when you're not seeing that. Just do the best you can. These type of seasons mean that you are with your kid 24/7. You're not getting breaks unless you're spending extra money and paying a babysitter for your break. Or if you have family that can help you, that's even better. That's great. I do have family, but I do not like to always call on my family for help with babysitting because I might need to call on them for something else, maybe if a babysitter's not available. So I try to use my resources wisely when I can. And then other times, most times, I don't use resources and I just take care of things myself. So with that in mind, sometimes I have to have those talks with baby girl because she might say, well, my friend has this, that, and the third. Why don't I have this? And I let her know that you're very blessed. You have a lot. And you're doing really well, especially for a kid who's being raised by a single parent. And you have to just understand that God has blessed you, but do not compare yourself to other people because everybody has a different story. Everybody will have a different life in different circumstances. And sometimes your situation might seem better than others, and sometimes it might not seem as good as others. But you just do the best with what you've been given, and you just keep moving forward. And most parents might not have to have those kind of talks with their kid. But I find that having those kind of talks with my daughter puts things into perspective, and it takes the pressures off of me to try to do more, be more, when I'm only one person. And it is not my job to do the job of two people. It's my job to do the job of a good mother. And so I try not to take up the slack. I mean, obviously I have to because there's some things that I have to get done, like being the provider, being the protector, right? But I try not to take over the job of a two-parent income or two-parent household, and put that type of pressure on myself. Now for the carrots. So I think I always thought that at this point in my life, things would be different. Like I was saying earlier, I thought that by now I would have just ended up in a different place. And sometimes it's tough getting on social media. For those of you that follow me on Facebook and on Instagram, you might be thinking, girl, you're hardly ever on there. And that's true. It's true. I'm hardly ever on there because sometimes it just feels like a lot of pressure, and it feels sometimes a little depressing because you see everybody living the life that you thought you were going to have, and you get into the thief of joy comparison, right? Of course, what I can assure you is that social media is not real. A lot of times people are bragging about their life, bragging about their spouse and their kids, and in reality, they're just as miserable as you, but you just would never know it. So I also recognize that people give you the good, but they don't always tell you the bad and the ugly. They really don't need to tell you the bad and the ugly. I mean, they don't owe anyone that. That's their business. But everything isn't always going to be perfect every time. And so you can't let yourself feel down just because you see things on social media and you're wondering, man, I wish I could have had that type of life, right? So Y'all give me a moment. No clue where I left off, but what I will say, as a single mom or single parent, we are, and I may have left off around this point, this part about being the provider. We are the providers, the protectors. Right now, I'm the doctor, the teacher, because they're taught in school, but we all know that even though they're learning in school, if we don't support that and provide that additional learning environment at home, the grades won't be the same. Okay? So, yeah, we are all that. So, at any rate, that's why I had to put y'all, or cut the camera, because trying to be Dr. Mommy. So, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. So, I don't know. I think when you're in your 20s and even your 30s, you have time. You have time to take your time with your career, with your relationships. You just have time. I've seen people, as they get older, make impulsive decisions just so that they can have the family that they've always wanted. I've been that person. And sometimes it works out, right? Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. If I had to do it over again, I would have definitely had my same kid. She is amazing. But I would have done some things differently when it comes to getting married young, when it comes to getting married too soon and not vetting the other person. I would have done some things differently. I wouldn't have felt the need to rush. I would have really taken my time and made sure that I met someone who genuinely had the maturity to want to be in a marriage and be a family person, a consistent family person, not just be a family person because it sounds good and that's what your friends are doing. And then now once your friends are starting to get divorces and you're like, oh, maybe I should get one too. I would have done things very differently in the vetting process. But yeah, I have these thoughts of, how did I get here? You know, I really did think that life would be very different at this point in time. Now, as I was saying before, I'm very blessed. I'm a homeowner. I love being a homeowner. I mean, there are some things that I'd be like, oh, y'all could keep this. This is for the birds, child. When it comes to owning a home. But for the most part, I'd say 9 times out of 10, I love owning my home. I wish I could have owned land and then had a house built on the land. I would have preferred to do that. But, you know, I wasn't thinking along those lines when I became a homeowner. But it's not too late. But yeah, that's something I wish I would have done when I became a homeowner. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm babbling, but I do feel like there's somebody that understands. A lot of people won't really understand. Like if I tell some people what I'm saying now, they'll say, girl, it's people that would give their left arm to have the blessings that you have. you're successful, you have a beautiful child, a beautiful home. You have so much going for yourself, right? People will say that. And even if you were talking like me right now, people would probably say that to you as well. And that's fine. I mean, yeah, they're right. I think that's wonderful. But you're going to know how you feel. And trust me, your feelings are valid. Your feelings are valid. But even when you're feeling a kind of way, try not to stay in that funk, right? Try not to stay there. I mean, I had some married, let me tell you something. Single people want to be married, child, and married people want to be single, baby. I've had some married friends that I've had to talk off the ledge. I'm like, y'all ain't at no point in no divorce. I probably shouldn't be drinking this at night. Can y'all tell what this is? It's a, can you see that? I can't tell if you can tell or not. I think it's trying to zoom in on my face. I don't know. Anyway, it is a liquid energy shot in the flavor strawberry watermelon, and it's made with vitamin B, green tea. Yeah. It will energize you, but chill. It's nighttime. I shouldn't be drinking it, but I'm gonna drink it anyway because I gotta be up cooking. And for those of you wondering, I do cook separate meals for my daughter, but now that she's older, she and I will eat the same things. So a couple of days for dinner this week, she'll have the same thing as me. And a couple of days, she'll have something different. And then what I do is I take my meal for lunch. And if I'm still hungry, I'll eat it for dinner. And if I'm not, then I would just eat it for lunch. I really don't like these knives, guys. I really don't. It's really time for me to get a new knife set. I do have a knife sharpener that I like to use. But I don't really think it's that helpful. I just need to invest in another knife set. My mom and dad blessed me with a new pot and pan set, which I absolutely love. And I've been using that a lot lately because I love to cook. So I think I might just make the investment in my own knife set. Because it's time. I've had this knife set for years. It's time. But, yeah, it's, you know, whether you're married, whether you're single mother, just know that even though you may be like me and wondering like, God, dog, how did I get here? I really expected something different from my life at this point. Know that God does not make mistakes. Even though I didn't want to be divorced, being divorced from, well, my first marriage was a blessing because I'm not going to bad talk that person, but they know exactly what they were doing while we were married, and it wasn't right to be in that situation. That situation would have probably caused me to have a stroke or a heart attack from stress. So, yeah. And so another point I want to make, if you are not married and you desire to be married, do not rush into something that could be very unhealthy for you and your mental health. You've got to vet the person and make sure that, you know, this is a good person, that, you know, you're going to be a good person to them. They're going to be a good person to you. That they genuinely care that God's word tells you how to treat the other person. That's so important. And for those of us that are just like, man, you know, I wish I would have ended up in a different predicament at this point in my life. It's not too late. Your life's not... Sorry, someone was calling my phone and it knocked me out. But it's not too late for you if you want a certain life. It's not too late. Even in our 40s, it's not too late. God has a special plan and purpose for each and every one of us. And his plan is far greater than any plan we could have ever imagined. And so stay encouraged, even if you're sitting back, you know, thinking about life and wondering, how did I get here? It's going to be okay. You're doing the best you can do. Take each day, one day at a time. Try not to worry about tomorrow. Isn't that what the scripture tells us? Tomorrow will worry about itself. Focus on the things that you have right in front of you. Put one foot in front of the other. Don't try to make things happen that shouldn't happen. Try to love yourself. That's important. Oh, hold on. Anyway, I'll deal with that later. Put one foot in front of the other and know that God's got you. God's got you. See my veggies, y'all? Look. Wait. It's going to be hard to see. Hold on. Let me show you. I'm still cutting carrots, but look at all those yummy veggies. There's shallots underneath here. You can't tell. See? It's the shallots. I'm so excited. The last thing that'll go in will be the spinach once the soup is just about done. And of course, I have my organic bay leaves. But anyway, stay encouraged, mamas. There's always a purpose behind the pain, and it's going to be okay. I really do believe that. I believe that it is going to be okay. I would much rather be a divorced single mother in a peaceful, beautiful home with my happy and healthy daughter than to be in a marriage or a situation that is unhealthy. So try to see every situation and circumstance as a blessing, knowing that God knows exactly what he's doing. I like the fact that I know that when I wake up in the morning, whatever I had in my bank account is going to be in my bank account. I don't have to wonder or worry about, what did the person do with this money, or did they, all that drama. While I would like to have raised my daughter in a 2-parent household, she couldn't be a happier kid. She's so bubbly and happy and filled with so much joy. And that's not by chance. That's by the grace of God. That's by the love of God that shines throughout our house. When you're a happy mother, there's no way your kids won't be happy. when you are filled with joy, that joy rubs off on them. So please stay encouraged. Don't be hard on yourself just because your life is not where you thought it should be at this point. And know that God's got you. His plan is way better than ours. I love you to life. Sorry for the long chat, but I enjoy talking with you. Until next time, I will see you on my next upload. And for those of you that are not subscribed, y'all just poking in, subscribe to your girl's channel. It's free, costs you nothing, but it does help me. Turn on your notifications so that you are up to date on my posts. And I would just love to have you here more often. Thanks again. Bye.